Hey everybody, it's been a while since I've done a video, but I'm gonna review Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and maybe some spoilers here. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, or you want to save some money, or you want to, I'm gonna be very general about stuff, and then I'm gonna be very specific on stuff that I had to criticize about the movie. Let's go with the positives first. Ben Affleck did a fantastic job. All the complaints about Batfleck and all those jokes, they fell silent. He knocked it out of the park. He did a perfect job as both Bruce Wayne and Batman. Wonder Woman, easily one of the best parts of the movie. Also, the nice little mentions of other Justice League members. That was a really great surprise. Most note is Cyborg. Cyborg pretty much wowed everyone. The development on Batman's character was, really good, but I'm gonna stop right there because that's where the positive ends. Now it's for the criticisms. This was literally a Batman movie featuring everybody else. Superman was underdeveloped. Lois Lane, as good as she was a footnote. There was not enough Wonder Woman in the movie, and people actually wanted more of her. That's how much of a great reaction she actually got on screen. And I'm one of the people who had my doubts if Gal Gadot could actually pull it off. In addition, the Flash was shown a couple of times, and there are more specifics that I'm going to get into in a moment. Overall, the movie was kind of laughable. It was pretty bad. The pacing was bad. The editing was really off. Whoever did the music cues for this movie and the editing, they need to be talked to and be like, what the hell were you doing? I'd rather this movie would have been delayed further and something better would have been done, because you have an incredibly big battle, and then it goes into Superman, Lois Lane, romantic music, and the music is not even background music. It's very noticeable. Yeah, it's actually more in the it hits your face how bad the music is, because the music, you'll hear it over the performances. It's just like, it's not like you can't hear it, but you take note whenever the music changes, and it's not like it's an interlude, pause into another one. It's just music hit, music hit, music hit, music hit. Jesse Eisenberg, come on, man. I've seen most of his work. He's a good actor. I'm not going to blame him too much for the fact is that they wanted Lex Luthor to be a certain way, and I believe if Jesse Eisenberg was left to his own devices, he probably would have had a better interpretation of the character to what was actually shown. So, Doomsday, no. Just, no. So, this is my general opinion right now. If you've gotten this far, there's a spoiler section. If you want to switch off, go ahead. My overall thing, this at a rating of a 10, I give this movie 5.5. That's not a good thing. I urge people not to pay to watch this. That being said, now let me talk about it in very specifics. There's the spoiler section about the movie. The movie, Ben Affleck was great. His performance was good, but the direction actually threw me off. Zack Snyder, I don't know if studio decisions or something like that, or the script was just that terrible. Everything was all over the place. It didn't have a cohesive moment. One of the major flaws was Lex Luthor in the film. Lex Luthor, he didn't have a dichotomy. He didn't have a thing where he had one personality in public and one in private. And they portrayed him as being this really, really young, privileged, and sociopathic type of a person who he's doing all of this because his pride was hurt, or from what I gather, he has like he needs to be the best in the world. Like, he's the smartest person, but he's like, he'll put an absurd line and be like, oh, one of the worst things is to have all this knowledge and no power with it. But his maniacal type of machinations were very lackluster and thin, and there was way too many Deus Ex Machina type of plot devices to keep the story going. There were too many dream sequences. Batman had really, really specific dream sequences. In the beginning of the movie, it went from kind of a quick interlude to his origin into being this really, really weird dream sequence, and it was laughable. I was making jokes throughout the entire movie every time a dream sequence came up, and how oddly specific it was. I'm like, why did they mix him with another superhero, with like Our Man, that he gets to dream certain things of possible futures? I don't know, but it just threw off a lot of the story, especially when they focused on Batman. And as the story progressed, they made Batman's motivation for fighting Superman very, very far-fetched. They were stretching it out. There was even a point where the actual fight to begin with, Superman's actually coming to Batman for help. He even states as much more than 2 times before they just flat-out brawl. And they made a whole point that Superman's mother and Batman's mother both have the first name, named Martha. So much that's how the fight ended. Superman, literally, as he's about to get killed by a freaking kryptonite spear, please save Martha, and that's what stopped the fight. With having Lois Lane randomly come in there, there was big plot points where it just didn't make any sense. You find kryptonite in random places. There were bodies and stuff like that, like getting Zod's body, creating Doomsday, which was, we just cut Lex Luthor's blood, combine it with Zod's body, regenerate in a ship where he used Zod's fingerprints to get through. A lot of things did not make sense in this movie. It just did not make any sense. It was literally laughable. Aquaman, you saw him for less than 40 seconds, and he just... It was just terrible. One of the biggest and most pleasant surprises was Cyborg, because you saw him get transformed from a mother box, which actually sets up the Justice League movie. This whole movie was a very long video game cutscene, which I cannot give my seal approval of. If you are a fan, or even a casual fan, even casual fans went away from this movie very upset. Even new fans, like, they couldn't make heads or tails of this. There were a lot of dream sequences that didn't make any sense, and it felt like filler. The pacing was very off, because it will abruptly go from a romantic scene straight into action, straight into some type of weird dialogue, back into a dream sequence, rinse and repeat. There was no development on Superman at all. This was a Batman movie featuring everybody else. It was just a very, very long introduction to introduce the Justice League, and no surprise, there was no extra credits. I didn't care there was extra credits. My biggest thing is that this movie should have been written a lot better, and it was... Zack Snyder's a great director, but you could only do so much, which what was giving. And it's one of the things that kind of bothers me with the movies that are coming up. When you cram so many things together last minute, and then you have to refilm it, the story suffers. There is literally no story in this. The motivations are flimsy. Certain characters used terribly. I think Alexander Luthor should have been acting one way in public and one thing and another way in private. Holly Hunter's character really didn't have a basis to be there. And I just say this to everybody. I caution you not to pay for this film. Just wait for it to come out on DVD or something like that. With that being said, until the next time, keep on smiling.